What is going on, everybody out there? We are exactly 2 weeks away from kicking off the Miami Hurricanes football season. It's going to be a doozy this year, one way or another, as always. We got the gang back together here, putting it ready to come at you and see what goes on. So what's up, Slim, Alex? We got T2Y joining us as well. How y'all doing?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm doing good over here.
There we go. The enthusiasm seems to be just like flowing out of you guys, just ready to ready to bust it out. So I mean, if we jump right into this thing, what do we know? What's going on? I think most of you probably know more about the roster and stuff like that than I do, so I'll let y'all take that one away.
Well, according to a lot of people outside the program, for once, this seems to be the year that we hope to put things together. Mario been recruiting well in high school, brought in a lot of talent through the transfer portal, and got a favorable schedule lined up for hopefully some big things.
Yeah, and one thing that I've noticed too, everybody wants to focus on Cam Ward. I think even the bigger story of what he did is going and getting a guy like Damian Martinez, because the guys that left out of the running back room, that left a big hole. But going and getting a guy like Martinez, and of course, Fletcher getting back on schedule as far as being able to rehab, Cam Ward doesn't have to play hero ball. Yeah. He doesn't have to carry this team on his shoulders. There is an absolute elite running game that is going to help this team out and help him out specifically.
Yeah, I must say, I'm more impressed by the growth of Emory Williams, because a lot said about Cam, but Emory Williams absolutely stepped it up this fall and spring. So he's the one I'm looking forward to, because with Cam's style of play, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Emory, a couple times here and there.
Hopefully that means in blowouts and not him being taken out of the game.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, right.
So who do you think's going to be leading this show? Like, you all big pumped up on Cam?
Well, of course. I mean, there wasn't a team in the country looking for a quarterback that didn't want him, despite what they say.
Don't let Florida State fans talk all this shit now after the fact. Cam was their first choice. They had to settle for the ukulele over there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, and I like Cam Ward said it on a podcast that he was on that I watched, and I think it's kind of a testament to Mario. According to him, he actually didn't have intention to go to the NFL. He threw his name in the draft to see who would just move on from him, basically, and see who would stay in contact with him. And Mario was the one guy that didn't move on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big pickup. I mean, it's way better than what we had last year, I think. So, we might do like you said, I think he went colorblind about halfway through the season, just started throwing it to everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 7-5 season last year, but it was like the worst kind of 7-5 where you were in every game and it was just these stupid mistakes and decisions that cost you. Like the Georgia Tech game is the first one that comes to mind, but North Carolina, we were up 3.5, but then you have a play where Henry Parrish fumbles on the 1-yard line and you come out in the second half and Tyler throws a pick in his own territory. It was just stuff like that kept shooting us in the foot. So hopefully now with like a better roster and a second year under the system, we can do a lot better than freaking 7-5.
Oh, definitely. And so not to mention, you got a freshman starting against Clemson and going out there and getting a win, but then get hurts against Florida State, and then TVD comes in and whoop-de-doo. Game's over.
Yeah. And I tend to agree with your take towards the end of the season, T2Y, that I think he was trying so hard to recapture what he did in 21 that he was trying to force too much in there.
Yep.
And I think it's kind of evident that he's still doing it because, speak of the devil, even though Luke Fickell wants to talk trash to Mario about him, Tyler can't lock up the starting job at Wisconsin.
Well, they did give it to him. They announced that this week, so we'll see.
Finally?
We'll see how long that lasts.
Which, by the way, I take what Luke Fickell says about Mario and Tyler with a grain of salt. Because this is a guy that just hired Alex Grinch as his defensive coordinator, as if we haven't seen what he's done at USC and Oklahoma for the past 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I predict Tyler will be out of that Alabama game by start of the third quarter.
Well, Alabama run a couple zones, that'll be it.
Oh my God, it's too high safety look. What do I do?
Restrepo, where are you?
The only saving grace he might have is that team's probably not going to be anywhere near the defense it was with Nick Saban, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they do this year without Nick Saban. That's going to be a big change, I think. But it may not. They might just keep flowing right like they are. Right? There's no telling,
My take on that, I look at it, not saying it's going to happen that way, but kind of like Larry Coker. I want to see where he is year 4. When Saban's guys are gone, how well is he recruiting? Is he able to keep the ball rolling? Because we saw it ourselves. Butch left, and but to my point, Larry Coker did really good at the beginning.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're recruiting, at least for now. Like, we can just judge him for what he's been doing now. He has the number 2 class, and he has something like 5 stars or something. So it's off to a good start. I think it'll be okay. I think they'll do okay. Kalen DeBoer has done very good everywhere he's gone. Like, he's a very good head coach. I don't think he'll. It's not like Larry Coker, where Larry Coker was never a head coach and you just got handed the greatest team of all time, and they just slowly got worse every single year.
Yeah.
Like Caleb DeBoer's been there and done that.
I kind of need him to beat Georgia. That's the only team. That's the only team I think of that could possibly beat Georgia on that schedule. So, kind of need him to continue that tradition that Nick Saban had going on. Don't need, Kirby getting too big-headed.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the stat. They put it out a few days ago. The last team that Georgia lost to that wasn't a Nick Saban team was the Florida Gators in 2020.
Yeah.
Yep. Good old damn mother.
Like that's just insane. Like, no one else has been able to beat them except one guy.
And so many people have come so close, but it's just, they always end up pulling it out right there at the end. It's almost aggravating.
Right?
Black magic.
I know.
Unless you want to throw Dabo in there.
Well, yeah, Dabo's done pretty, and Urban Meyer has a winning record against Saban too.
Yeah, but I think Dabo's 2-2. They play four times in the national championship. Wow, that's crazy.
Well, they were all in the playoffs. I think 2 of them were in the national championship, maybe 3. I know one of them was a semifinal game.
Yeah, it was 2015 national title, 16 national title. In 17, they played in the Peach Bowl or something in the first round, and then in 18 they played in the national title.
Yeah, I knew his Kelly Bryant year was one I knew of, was a semifinal game.
Yeah, that was the year that Alabama lost to Auburn in the last week, and they didn't even make the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
But because Wisconsin finished also 11-1 and they had a weak schedule, they got put in. Alabama got put in over Wisconsin, and Ohio State won the Big Ten at 10-2 or something.
Well, before we get too far into the weeds, I know we and a lot of fans have focused on the offensive transfers that came in. Who do you think is going to stand out as the defensive transfer that came in?
Michelle Powell.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've been hearing from camp, he's been playing pretty damn well, and he has that experience coming over from Washington. Experience that was needed in that secondary. That's probably my biggest point of concern in the whole team. Not even that I'm going to call it a weak spot, but my biggest concern is that secondary, because there's going to be so many young guys and unproven guys.
I'm not even sure if it's the secondary as a whole. I think we're probably fine at corner. It's safety specifically where I've got some concerns with inexperience.
Yeah.
Because Daryl Porter Jr. has plenty of experience, and you've got Brown has gotten plenty of experience since he's been there. Yeah.
Yeah, and his brother, the walking pass interference, went over to Florida State, so we got better.
I think another guy to look forward to seeing is Simeon Barrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the defense, especially
that D-line.
Gone. That should be something interesting to watch.
Yeah. And granted, I know their highlights, but I watched his highlight reel from Michigan State. Dude's a problem. Kid out of South Carolina. Actually, there's in a lot of the Twitter spaces I run around in, there's a South Carolina fan that went to high school with him and has done nothing but talk him up this offseason about what a get we got. Now, I think somebody that's very good, I don't know how much playing time he's going to see, is Tyler Barron.
Yeah, he's another one. Plus, Elijah Alston.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get Akeem Mesidor back this year.
Yeah, our D-line's going to be back.
Yeah, I mean, think how crazy it is. Akeem Mesidor was probably like our top guy 2 years ago. Obviously, he got injured last year. And he's probably going to be running like 2 deep or 3 deep this year.
Yeah. Well, and as we know, too, we've got concerns for the safety and secondary in general, but we saw it in 17. If your front seven is playing at an elite level, which linebackers I don't have a concern in the world about, they can mask some deficiencies in your back end.
And even another guy that a lot of people's not talking about is C.J. Clark. He could do it this year, too. So, that D-line is stacked.
Yeah,
I was very excited.
And it's stacked for years to come after this last recruiting class.
I think Tyler Barron came from Louisville, right?
No, Michigan State.
No, that was Simeon Barrow that came from Michigan State.
Tyler Barron.
Tyler Barron was at Louisville for 5 minutes.
No. Tyler Barron came from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he was one. He transferred to Tennessee in like January during the first from Tennessee to Louisville during the first
portal
open period of the portal, and then transferred from Louisville to Miami during the second. So yeah.
Yeah, not to mention we got a whole plethora of incoming freshmen that's already trying to make an impact right now.
I've heard Justin Scott's looking real damn good.
Yeah, him I heard of. I really want to see how they're going to develop Artavius Jones, though, because that dude's a grown man already. But I think he's more of a next year kind of guy.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking up, especially after they got in there, Jordan Lyle and, of course, JoJo Trader. I mean, from the spring all through the summer.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about JoJo Trader.
Yeah, but the receiver that's been like getting a lot of spotlight is Sam Brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Sam Brown and Isaiah Horton. From what I'm hearing, Isaiah Horton is out there giving it his all. He's trying to earn that third receiver because it's obviously going to be Restrepo and George.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna have the top receiver group in the ACC this year. When you pair it with Cam Ward and what he's able to do, because this is going to be the first time Cam Ward has an actual like functioning offensive line, and he's not running for his life back there.
Yeah, which is the cause of most of his, not all, but most of his fumble problems. He does have to quit carrying that ball like a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
And Restrepo, too, he's so consistent and so good that we haven't really been hearing much about him, during this spring and during this fall, but then Canes camp come out and you see him catching wild catches all over the place. And I'm like, oh, that's why we ain't been hearing about him. He's just doing this thing and it's normal now.
Yeah, I think that's going to be exciting to see Cam Ward and Restrepo work together. I think that's going to be that's going to be fun to watch.
I mean, Restrepo's a guy last year who got 1,000 yards with almost a carousel at quarterback. I mean, that's everything you need to know about that guy. And Jacoby George, too, he had damn near 1,000 yards. I think he had like 800 something.
Well, and here's my problem with George. I see any of that mess that I saw in the bowl game and Mario not sit him on the bench, I'm going to have a problem.
Or the Louisville game, at the end of the Louisville game, too.
Yeah. He's got a bad habit. He will let corners get under his skin, and he'll start picking up penalties.
Yeah.
And he's got to learn to shake that off.
People take advantage of that because we know they're quick to throw the flag on us.
Hopefully he get out of that mindset because that could cost you a lot of games, especially close games.
And listen, I wouldn't have had a problem with it in the bowl game if Mario would have pulled him out and sat him. I really wouldn't have, because I mean, sometimes things happen. I ain't gonna get mad at you, because somebody got under your skin, you lost your cool. They're college kids. They're 20, 21 at best. But I put more of that on Mario for not pulling him out of the game. At least for a little bit. Set him down for a series, set him down for a couple plays, something. But you got to pull him out of that game. You can't let him sit out there and act a fool like that.
Yeah. The guy that I'm looking forward to also, but he's not a new incoming guy or anything like that, is Wesley Bissainthe, because they've been giving him a lot of praise, and I've been seeing, certain highlights and things like that, people talking, within the program about how good he's looking and how he's stepping up. So now I really want to see it on the field, because if that's the case, him and Kiko could possibly be one of the best duos in college.
Yeah, I think those two are going to be your constant. I think that third linebacker is what's going to shift depending on what kind of defensive formation they're running, because, Guidry likes to run a star like most people, that outside backer safety hybrid. But he'll also do what Manny's done. If he's got the guy to do it, he'll have that outside backer D-end hybrid. And I think that's where you'll see guys come in and out, like a Washington may come in to be that safety outside backer hybrid. And I could see Tyler Barron coming in as that end outside backer hybrid.
And to kind of suck it to the Gators a little bit, Malik Bryant and Adarius Hayes. Adarius Hayes just came in this year. He's already looking for, they was clowning about, how Mario basically told him that he could be the next Ray Lewis. All of them's laughing and kicking, but he's been doing pretty well. He's making a name for himself already as a freshman. So not saying you're going to see him, out there getting 100 reps, but you definitely going to see him this year.
Hey, he's going to be better than anything else they brought in. That recruiting class is trash outside of McCray and Lagway, which Lagway going to be gone there in 2 years after he sees how garbage that O-line is. He's not going to want to die behind that.
I'll give him Miles Graham too. He was a good linebacker.
Well, speaking of them, obviously that's the first game, so I've been trying to keep up with their fall camp as well. They've lost one D lineman, probably for the year.
And they're starting running
back. Their starting running back, he's going to miss somewhere probably between 1 to 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
is what I've heard.
He'll probably return against Texas A&M.
Yeah, I do not think you're going to miss the majority, if not all, of fall camp and playing the first game. I think that would be dumb. And then I don't know. I don't know the Gators roster like that, but I saw a video out of practice, and I know T2I saw this too. They had a defensive lineman, number 88, decide to get in a fight and shove the D-line coach to the ground.
No, don't fall.
What's going on in Florida, man?
Don't fall for that, Slim. That was okay. So I started that trolling, but they didn't fight. There's a part in the clip where it looks like he was like hitting them. So I was like, "Holy shit! Let me take advantage of this nice trolling moment." I screenshotted it and put it out there and said, basically, breaking news: Billy Napier's lost the locker room. Number 8 is punched the D-line coach. Because when you look at him, it looks like he's standing over him with his hand.
Hey, they were talking about it on Florida Space. Well, that's where I heard about it from. After I saw you post it, but I heard them talk about it too.
Yeah,
T2I spreading propaganda.
They all got a kick out of it. Even Stephen Harris, former Florida Gator, he retweeted it and was like, "Oh man, this was a good one. You got me."
I saw that. I saw that. Who was that Florida YouTuber that after they lost a game last year just started crying on stream or whatever?
Oh God, High Top Sports.
No. That's Gator Breakdown, something like that. Gator Breakdown.
That one started crying.
Yeah. Oh, he started bawling, dude.
Bawling, like literally, like we tried to make it funny. That was sad. Like that was legitimately sad.
Dude, yeah.
But I'm not saying I feel bad for him. It's absolutely stupid to be crying on stream over a college football team, but whatever. That
And that's why we make a point to make fun of every Debbie Downer in our comment section.
Listen,
I always look forward to
back
that
this year.
Debbie Downer
That's
award.
coming back. We haven't had one so far, right? But
Well, we haven't played a game yet. Give it time.
I ain't gonna lie. When we win the championship, I'm gonna cry on stream. I'm gonna be crying, singing.
that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. That's different. That's different.
Yeah, tears of joy are allowed, but
You gotta go outside and hug strangers and everything.
I teared up when the Panthers won the championship this year, but that's different. You know, that's winning a championship, and you haven't seen that in a while, or in that case, ever. But what I was gonna say is that dude that was crying on the stream, he put out a tweet where it was like, wide receivers look great, O-line though, woof, like something like that. Just that the O-line was trash. And all I gotta say is, man, when Hurricane Vane comes to town, he's gonna whoop that ass.
I was like, oh man, trouble in paradise.
You know it's bad when the beat reporters are admitting to it. Because they're supposed to show.
The whole fan base went at him too. Like, why would you put that out there? Why would you give these guys more ammo to come on here and troll us?
Yeah, I had a Florida fan. He tweeted something. I was tweeting some bullshit about a recruiter of theirs that he was gonna flip before signing day or something. And then one of them being like, why you gotta come out here being all butthurt on Twitter? And then when I went to reply, he blocked me. So yeah, they're all a bunch of pussies.
Yeah,
I
right
hate
now
Florida fans.
they're hyping up their last commit in Hanks. Like literally, his dad is an alumni. Went there, played linebacker. Come on, and Miami was leading for him for a while, but you know he's a legacy kid.
Yeah. It's like Al Blades Jr. It's like,
Which you know you're gonna get them, but I'm gonna be honest. We haven't had the best track record with legacy players.
Ruben Bain.
Well, yeah, okay. There's one. Testaverde's kid didn't even see the field. You know, I hated it for him, but Trajan Bandy's career was what Trajan Bandy's career was. Al Blades ended up leaving Alonzo Highsmith's kid. What was his name?
Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin's kid too.
Yeah, he couldn't stay out of trouble. I mean, Highsmith's kid, you know, okay, he ended up swapping from quarterback to corner, which is kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah, a lot of legacy kids don't work out at Miami.
You know, a lot of them don't work out, period. I mean, just if I'm being honest, listening to other fan bases talk about it too.
Yeah, because they're all hype about Ben Hanks and what's the other guy? Vernon Brown, Varnell Brown, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll see him this year because he's at North Carolina. Max Johnson. I mean, he's mid. It's Brad Johnson's son, but it's also Mark Richt's nephew.
Yeah. Also, Rec Talk, we're able to put up with them because we just treat them as what they are. They're like an annoying little mosquito that just won't shut the fuck up. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner it'll be easier to live with.
Yeah.
Well, he's been going at Florida State all off season.
Florida State will not shut up about anything. They're talking about 13-0 as if they didn't get blown out. The worst loss in the history of bowl games ever. And as if they didn't get worse at every single position, and they're not suing their conference and ESPN and all this stuff. It is the most pathetic group of people on the planet, Florida State fans. I cannot stand them.
Yeah, well, and Florida State's kind of had to eat some humble pie there because, as it turns out, nobody but the Big 12 wants them.
Yeah.
Not only do they want them, they want to give them a 360 deal where we own you.
Yeah, so they only half-ass want them. They want them like a redheaded stepchild.
They're like, we'll pay your way out and everything like that, but you come over here now you're gonna to get out of here, you're gonna have to pay more.
Yeah.
So it's like, and oh my God, did y'all see the Feinbaum situation?
Yes, bro.
Oh yeah.
People were talking about how they need to sue Feinbaum now too.
Yeah,
Wait,
yes,
they're going to sue Paul.
Yeah,
Feinbaum?
they're suing Feinbaum next because Feinbaum said they're so dehydrated from crying all off season that they're going to lose.
Yeah, he said that he's looking at the top 10 and he's like, I don't know why Florida State's even here. They don't belong.
I don't either.
And And he made it even worse and said, "I don't see them finishing ranked at the end of the season."
Yeah, because that's what the conversation was about, is what top 10 or 25 team won't be ranked by the end of the season, and he just jumped straight on Florida State.
It's like they've
made themselves an easy target. Yeah. They've made themselves an easy target.
They got a list of people that they really want to just snipe. Kirk Herbstreit's at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And now Feinbaum.
Well, and I mean, they've done it to themselves, because you bring in DJ, and I mean, at this point, we saw 2 years of him at Clemson. We saw a year of him at Oregon State. His numbers at Oregon State were basically identical to what they were at Clemson. DJ is what he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then you look at a guy like RG3. He puts out a whole tweet. Oh, everybody's talking about Florida State, don't know football, and blah, blah, blah. The next day, ESPN said, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, only Desmond Howard's got the clout to make dumb tweets like that.
I saw when RG3 got fired, this other lady also got fired, and she's like married to a former Florida State football player, and people were,
oh yeah, it's Christian Ponder's wife. Yeah.
I saw someone being like, RG3 married to a former FSU track star. Christian Ponder's wife fired from ESPN. It's just a deep conspiracy of anti-FSU at ESPN, and everyone in the comments was like, "Yes, this is."
Hey, you know what? I don't approve of her choice of husband, but I mean, you got to put up with a bunch of dumb takes on ESPN. You can at least keep us something nice to look at around. And now you're going to get rid of that.
Yeah. Man, that's tough.
Yeah, ESPN, they've declined quite a bit from where they used to be.
It's just a gimmick now. Like, notice they're just keeping all the gimmicky people on. Like, that's what they're just doing. Stupid.
It's like that one lady that does the announcing for like the 2:00 game on Saturday that nobody's watching. You always, but that lady, I forget her name, but she's so annoying to listen to. I hate when it's a game. I always have to mute it. I can't stand listening to her.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
That's what FSU fans are doing with Kirk Herbstreit in the new college football game, because I saw someone on Twitter like, "Oh, Kirk Herbstreit's announcing on this one, time to mute it," and I'm just like, "Bro, y'all are so fucking petty."
Well, you can actually pick your announce crew, so I guess they just permanently don't pick
not in
Kirk Herbstreit.
Not in the college football one. In Madden, you can. In college football, it's like if it's just like a regular game, like 2 6-6 teams or whatever, then it's just Reese Davis and all them. But when it's like the big game, like the game of the week or like a playoff game or something, then it's Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler.
Yeah, well, so I'm saying like if you just set up your own game, like if I just wanted to go on there and play the game, yeah, you can pick your announce crew.
I think the most pettiest thing I seen from Florida State fans was Kirk Herbstreit was walking down the street with his dog, and they was like, "Can we call the police on him because that dog is not on a leash?"
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I actually saw Chris Fowler on Miami Beach, because they all live down here, and he was biking on Miami Beach, and he had stopped, and like I was just like, "Yo, I'm a big fan, whatever," and like I told him I'm a Miami fan, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool," and I was like, "So how do y'all put up with these Florida State fans?" And he just sort of went like,
"Hey, I just want to say the only silver lining to it is Lee Corso isn't sane enough to see the absolute garbage that fan base has turned into."
Oh man. I feel so bad for. Why are they still trotting him out there? Let the man retire.
Hey man,
are they going to bring him out here?
I got no hate for Lee Corso. I don't.
No, I don't. I don't hate him. It's just sad.
Yeah, it's he's obviously not there.
No, that's what I mean. Like I love Lee Corso.
I was going to make a joke about it, but Mark would get mad at me, so I'm going to refrain, Mark.
Dude, Lee Corso is a tradition in himself. Like watching game day without him is not going to be the same.
Yeah, and I kind of say the same thing now, even though obviously his mind's there. It's getting real sad to see the shape Mark Richt's getting in on ACC Network.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I'm glad he got out of coaching when he did, on his own terms too, and not having to like just keep declining, and then like eventually it's just like fire him or something. Like I'm glad he was able to be like self-conscious enough to be like, I don't have it anymore, and that's totally respectable.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. I mean, I've always
good guy and a good coach. Like that last year was clearly just like he wasn't there anymore. Like by like being in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people shit on him because he never got Georgia over the hump, and this is just my working theory on it. Because of the type of person Mark Richt is, I don't think that he would do the underhanded, under the table kind of things that Urban Meyer and Nick Saban would do to get ahead.
Yeah. Also, Rec Talk, Slim isn't in Iraq. He's just at Bobby Dodd Stadium right now.
Oh yeah, you want to see Bobby Dodd Stadium? There you go, Bobby Dodd Stadium.
Oh, that's way nicer.
Oh God, too funny. Yeah, I'm definitely excited though. I mean, shoot, we'll be watching football next weekend. That's hard to imagine. It's already here.
Yeah, I mean,
shit out of Florida State.
That's the only gripe I've got about week 0 is you got Georgia Tech and Florida State at noon, and then you have like Delaware playing fucking Idaho or whatever at the primetime game. It's like y'all couldn't put something else that week. Anything.
You know what I thought about?
When they had Miami and Florida that 1 week 0, and it was a night
game.
Yeah, had all day to look forward to. Yeah, that was cool.
I thought about it like, as much as I hate Florida State, we actually need them to win this season because we don't want to end up in a predicament where we're right where they were last year.
Well, here's the thing.
Teams, so it should be pretty easy to.
Yeah, with 12 teams. Here's the thing. You win the conference.
16, 12.
Well, they're going to end up at 16 before long. But you win the conference, you're guaranteed a spot.
No, they changed that rule.
No, they didn't. Conference winners are guaranteed a spot.
They're changing it for the future. They're changing it for the future.
Yeah, it's not changed yet.
But I mean, here's a question: how do y'all feel about the new 12-team playoff? Because I'm just gonna say I hate it.
I'm not a fan. I'm more, and I think a lot of people feel this way. The reason that a lot of people are big time college football fans as opposed to the NFL is because the NFL regular season doesn't exactly mean a whole lot. Yeah. Every game matters in college football.
Yeah, I went on Mark's show a few months back, and we were talking about this. And the example I gave him was, look at these last few years, the Ohio State-Michigan game. That game decided who could go to the playoffs and who won the Big Ten East. And that was it. It was all or nothing. Now you could potentially see the scenario where it's like, okay, they play in the last week. Doesn't matter because they're both in for the Big Ten championship. Okay, that's cool. But, they were both 11-0. Let's say the other team that didn't win the first game, now they're both 11-1, right? They could potentially meet a third time in the playoffs. It's like, what are we doing here?
They could. I think you have a higher probability of that being Ohio State and Oregon as opposed to Michigan this year. Michigan's not – I'm not saying Michigan's going to be bad. Michigan's defense is still going to be absolutely elite. Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to be Ohio State and Oregon. And then everybody else in that conference.
I agree with what Hurricane 205 said. I don't think we'd get the shaft like FSU did. We're a much bigger brand. And at the end of the day, that's what really did it in for them last year, because they lost Jordan and now they had the excuse to put the bigger brand and more proven brand of Alabama in the college football playoff.
Well, I think it had a lot to do too. Don't tell me they didn't know that Saban was going to retire. I kind of think that had something to do with it too. Like his last go at it. He's got a lot of push in there.
I'll add this to it too. With them going to this 12-team playoffs, I like it personally because over the years, the last, let's say 5 years, all we've been hearing is meaningless bowl games. Well, now the top bowl games will definitely be watched because they're playoffs. Like last year, you see Florida State didn't even take the Orange Bowl seriously. And that's a New Year's 6.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think that has so much to do with the playoffs as much as it does with just the current culture in college football, because you could go back to the BCS and beginning of the playoff era. You weren't seeing the opt-outs like that at the rate that you are
no,
now.
you didn't see it until the playoffs became a thing. And that's what I find funny. It is a unintended consequence of the playoffs. And for some reason, people are making the argument, which is completely beyond me, that more playoff games is going to fix it. I don't know how more, if something caused another thing to happen, I don't see how more of that something is going to fix it. That math isn't mathing to me.
Yeah,
I think 8 would have been a good number.
Yeah, I feel like 8 would have been good, especially now that there's more parity. If you had told me 8 teams back in like 2018, I would have been like, "Are you stupid? It's just Clemson, Ohio State, Bama every year. Like, why are we going to go to 8 teams? 4 is perfectly fine." Like,
I'll say this.
Now it's different.
I'm glad they went to 12 instead of 8, because what would happen is at the end of the year you'll have all these teams with 1 losses in the top 10, and then now you're looking at it like, okay, who's going to get in? Who deserves it more? And we'll be right back where we started at with the 4 teams.
I mean, how many teams is there normally with 1 losses in a year? Maybe like 5 or 6, 7 at max. With 8, they'd all be covered. I mean, a lot of times when you get to the lower ends of the top 10, 7 through 10, you see a fair amount of 2-loss teams in there.
Okay, perfect example. Iowa was a 2-loss team. They wouldn't have stood a chance.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. Let's just be completely honest about it. At the very most, there's probably 3 teams that can win a national title in a given year.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. I don't like the whole group of 5 automatic qualifier thing in there, because all that's going to do for me, honestly, is just be a bye week for that number 5 team. That's all it's going to be.
It is.
It's basically just going to be a bye week, but they get the added advantage of also being able to warm up a little bit.
Well, that's not going to be the only one. I think one that a lot of people have overlooked in these discussions, and we've seen it with the way the committee has ranked them. If Notre Dame has a pulse, they're going to put them in.
Yeah,
100%.
No, before Notre Dame had to go 12-0. Now, if they just go 11-1, they'll be in, and we know Notre Dame's history in big games. So,
we saw it in 2017. Notre Dame had 2 losses, and they were still at like number 7.
So if you go back to last season and you look at it, the final rankings, you got Ohio State 11-2, Ole Miss 11-2, Missouri 11-2, Oregon 12-2.
Yeah, those that's after bowl games. That's after bowl games.
So those are basically the teams that would have been saying, hey, at least Ohio State and Ole Miss, they finished 9-10. They would be saying, why does Missouri or Oregon deserve it more than us?
Yeah, but again, that's after you have to look at it before the bowl games, how it all shaped out. Because Ohio State was 11-1, it was 10-2, I think.
Okay, so before the bowl games, you had Georgia at 6 with 12-1. Then you had Ohio State 11-1. You had Oregon at number 8 at 11-2. Missouri 10-2. Penn State 10-2. Ole Miss 10-2. Oklahoma 10-2. So it's a lot of teams that would have been saying, "Hey, we deserve that 7 or 8 spot."
Yeah, but you're still going to get that with that playoff. You're still going to get that because there's going to be teams with 2 losses or 3 losses at the end down there that it's going to be like, well, why did 10-2 Penn State get in, but us 10-2 Ole Miss didn't get in? Like what
with the 12 teams where you would eliminate it is, okay, you got the conference champions winners, which is 4 teams, and then you got the Notre Dames of the world. Granted that they do good, and then you got a
group of 5 team.
So you already got 6 spots laid out already.
Yeah, so you have the rest of the country actually fighting for 6 spots. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, more than likely, the SEC runner-up in there. More than likely, the Big Ten runner-up is going to be in there. You throw the rest of it to the Wolves.
I think a lot of the years you'll probably have the runner-up or the team right there that didn't make it to the conference championship game out of the ACC and the Big 12. I think you'll probably get 2 teams from those conferences. I could see 3 from the Big 10 and the SEC, and then Notre Dame in a group of 5.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Harry says. Slim had it on the not Slim. Brennan had it on the screen for a second. No matter what, there will be controversy. No matter what, this isn't going to cure controversy.
Well, yeah, there's going to be that 13th team that we should have made it in.
Well, you see it in the NCAA tournament. The 65th team every year is going, "Oh, we deserve to be in."
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's enough playoff talk. Let's get into the schedule.
Hey, we could talk about conference realignment or something,
Yeah.
We're
a preview show, and we've barely talked about the damn team.
We can talk about how the Southwest Conference needs to come back, and we'll send Georgia Tech and Tulane back to the SEC.
And I'll throw a shot at Florida. If Texas comes into the SEC and win it the first year, it took Florida literally 100 years to do it. That'll be.
Can we start a petition to bring back the Pac-12 solely for the reason to get Cal and Stanford out of the ACC? Because what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, we'll touch on that here in a minute when we do some predictions. But yeah, that's going to be really weird to play in Cal.
It's already weird. They put it on the field and they put the pictures out. It's like new threads or whatever, and it's just like, oh my god. Like,
I mean, listen. I actually think there's some potential for some real troll opportunities there because it's UC Berkeley. Like, I will be highly disappointed the first time Clemson goes to Cal if Dabo Swinney does not walk out on that field carrying a cross and just trigger everybody.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and like 904 Hurricane here. He's saying, what if Oregon wins the Big Ten for the first? That would be awesome.
I have them in the Big Ten championship. They very much could.
Yeah.
I have them in the Big Ten championship for lack of better options. But this isn't a shot at Dan Lanning, but he's getting a whole lot of smoke blown up his ass, and to me, it's very unjustified.
Come on now, Bill.
Look, we're bad. We're not that bad.
Yeah, taking shots.
Bad, man.
ACC, and I can prove it. I can prove it with facts because I've done this. The ACC is the second best conference in the country.
I could tell you this, Slim. If SMU, Stanford, or Cal comes into the ACC and wins it before us, I'm breaking everything in my house.
I'm probably going to be right there with you.
Especially if it's Rhett Lashlee with Jalen Knighton and Keyshawn Smith and all them guys from here.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Now we're ragging on Cal and Stanford. I actually do like SMU to the conference. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and I would like it more if they had brought Memphis too.
Oh yeah,
easy cake.
All right,
continue.
Hold on, Slim. You think you slick? You're in Tennessee. That's why you want Memphis.
Well, yes, but also look at Memphis's track record. When UCF was on their run, Memphis was right on their heels. Justin Fuente came out of Memphis. Mike Norvell came out of Memphis, and now you had a drop off after Norvell left, but that guy's got it right back up to where it was at.
All right, let's get into this schedule.
All right, so we want to do that. We want to make some predictions here and see what happens.
Yes, sir. Ski.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these up. You got the schedule in front of you too, everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Let me do this right, and give me 1 second here. All right, so we've got starting out at the lovely Florida.
Yeah, you're gonna give America an enema. Gainesville, Florida is where you'd stick the nozzle.
Yeah, I've been in Gainesville. It's probably the most disgusting city I've ever visited.
Yeah, they say COVID's over. Still wear a mask.
Hey, that goes for Tallahassee too. Tallahassee has their own STD and strain of the flu, so stay away.
Allegedly, every other week, a Florida fan takes a bath.
Some of them don't even know what a bath is.
Yeah, it's bad when Ybor City looks nice compared to.
Oh wow! Wow!
That's a low blow. Oh,
Okay,
Debbie Downer.
what do we
Debbie
think?
Downer award. Wait, we got a Debbie Downer fishing football. He's getting pissed off because we're ragging on.
Hey, you know what? Fishing football is disqualified.
He's not even real.
Yeah, he's not a real person. That's a Chinese bot.
Fishing ain't real, man. Fishing ain't real.
Yeah, he's a Chinese bot. He's a Russian spy.
Good to see you fishing. Either way, well, we'll put up with you. But so what do we think is going to happen with this game? I'll let y'all
win.
go first.
Win. I'm not even. Look, it'll be close because first game of the season. It's in Gainesville. No matter how disgusting or awful that place is, it's still a tough place to play. Probably because it's so disgusting and awful. But it should be a win. The Gators are awful. They're going to win like maybe 3 or 4 games this year. Billy Napier's going to be fired on the runway somewhere. I don't know. They're just going to throw him out of the taxi or something. This is a win. I'm not even going to entertain this.
I got this down to Miami 38, Florida 17.
Wow.
Okay, I was thinking more like 31-23. I was going to say 31-23.
They don't have Earl Johnson. That's the only running back they had with some.
ETN went to a real team. ETN went to a real team in Georgia.
That's the match I'm waiting.
Blister Bill, they've preseason ranking is 19.
Yeah.
I kind of disagree where they put us compared to Clemson.
Clemson's a little bit higher, but I think Clemson's not going to. I think Clemson goes 8-4 and 3 this year.
Some of that is because Clemson is still a better roster on paper than us.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Going by recruiting rankings on paper, that is a better roster. Yeah, I'm not saying in practice it is.
No. Also even then they're not.
Dabo's lost a lot of talent to the portal, but he never replaced them. And now,
that's actually not true either. I mean, for all the crap Dabo takes about not getting transfer players, he's got some of the lowest transfer out numbers in the country.
Yeah, but nonetheless, you have out numbers that you're not replacing with equal or better talent.
Also, they used to recruit with top 10, top 5, and now they're like outside of they're still top 15. I'm not saying they're not a talented team. That would be a ridiculous statement. But like they haven't put out the team. They haven't put out the team talent composites for this year. So last year, the blue chip ratio, I think they did.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the blue chip ratio. I'm talking about the talent composite. Last year, according to the talent composite by 247, Clemson was the 5th most talented roster in the nation. We were 11th or 12th.
Man, let me see if I can check that right now.
So I will say one thing about this game, though. I feel sorry for. I mean, I hate to say this, but I kind of feel sorry for Florida this year.
Why?
I mean, they have one of the most grueling schedules, and like this. I mean, you can look at their schedule and think. I mean, you'd be lucky to find 5 wins. I mean, that would be amazing if they could pull off 5 wins.
Honestly, let me pull it up and we can talk about this. Hold up.
Well, and to your point, Fools, it's brutal because it's the Gators with that schedule as well.
Yeah,
because they're a bad football. Like that schedule wouldn't be considered. We wouldn't consider it half as hard if Georgia was playing that schedule.
No, but that's a pretty big comparison there.
Yeah. Like I mean, I'm looking at the schedule honestly. By the Georgia game, they'll probably be shooting Billy Napier into the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, week 1 is a loss. We all agree on that. Sanford win, Texas A&M, it's in Gainesville. I'm going to call it one 50-50 just because Mike Elko's so early into his tenure and it's on the road. And for all the shit that Billy Napier's taken, he always pulls out one bullshit win from his ass every fucking year.
Well, and he's got a good record in the swamp, too.
Yeah, I think they beat Texas A&M, so that's 2. Mississippi State, they're one of the worst teams in the SEC. I think that's a win. UCF at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, that could be 50. I could say that's a 50-50 game, but I'll give it to UF. Because I'm so low on them and I'm a little higher on UCF. Tennessee loss, Kentucky loss, Georgia's a loss, Texas is a loss, LSU, it's in Gainesville. That's the only advantage you have. Ole Miss is a loss.
Let me ask you a question. Did you think Tennessee was a better team than Florida last year?
Yeah, but it was in the swamp. This year it's in Knoxville.
I don't care.
And
Tennessee has beat them. Hang on. Tennessee has beat them 3 times in the last 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like Roth's saying in here, 5 top 13 teams in November, and that's they're going to close out bad.
Now, I think LSU is way more talented than them, but I'm not high on LSU for this year. And Miami fans shouldn't be either. Yes, Nussmeier is an elite quarterback. Yes, LSU has talent, but obviously their offense is going to take a step back, and then you have Blake Baker running that defense.
Not just Blake Baker, but that defense was already terrible last year, and they've done nothing to improve it.
Well, they got some guys back. Like you did have, they had a couple of injuries in camp at corner, and then you had that corner that had the brain tumor.
Look,
just getting guys back from injury, they're going to be a little better than they were in the secondary last year.
Look, I'm going to say something, and it goes well with the picture that Brennan has up. In that last 5 games, it is very likely they lose all 5 games. Do I think they will? No, I think they could beat LSU because it's in the swamp, and LSU is not going to be as good as people think they are. But I have literally seen Florida fans saying that in that last 5 games, they'll go like 3-2 or 4-1. And I'm not joking.
Oh, I've been in Twitter spaces. Florida fans were talking about they deserve a playoff spot if they go 9-3.
I've seen
Florida fans think 9-3 is possible.
I've seen Florida fans make serious predictions that they're going to go 8-4 and then beat both us and Florida State. Shut up. Please shut up. Please shut up.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Well, I mean, as far as our game with Florida, yes, I think we're going to win. No, I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah. I just have to say this,
because
if Florida makes a bowl game, and I'm saying this live, I will put myself in a brazen bull. And if you don't know what that is, look it up.
Billy Napier deserves Coach of the Year if they make a bowl game.
There's a lifetime extension.
Listen, I held Florida State to the same standard, so I'd be a hypocrite not to hold Miami to it as well. No matter what you think of the guys we brought in or the talent we have, Cam Ward, Damian Martinez, all these guys have never taken a snap in a Miami uniform. And you can practice all you want. There's no replacement for a game experience.
Yep.
So I could see this being a 28-17 kind of game.
I think it'll be close too, but I think we get the win. I think we'll get it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be 31-23, and we'll score a touchdown in like the middle of the 4th quarter to make it 31-16, and they'll score some garbage time touchdown to make it look a little better. That's how I think that'll go. But it'll be close all the way through.
It'll be kind of like take for example the Michigan-Alabama playoff game. Like, yes, the score was close, but you could just tell Michigan was in control of that game at all times.
Yeah, I mean, even though that game went to overtime, for God's sake, but
no, it didn't.
Yeah, it
did. Never mind. Yeah,
I was like, am I in an alternate universe?
Yeah, never mind. Well, listen, that was 8 months ago now.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all saying that we think Florida's trash and we're going to win that game. So next we have the juggernaut that is Florida Atlantic.
Our first win over a Tallahassee school this year. Spoiler, it won't be our last.
Yeah, that's Florida A&M, not Florida Atlantic.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Florida.
The mighty Rattlers.
Florida, yeah, the Rattlers. Florida
Atlantic
A&M.
Memorial University.
Yeah, right, exactly. Sorry. Now I was looking at the colors. It always irritates me because they stole our colors too, and it's like.
I mean, you have the same thing with that.
Wait, I'm sorry, no. 60 or 70 on them.
Yeah, I could see us dropping a 70. I think everybody in a Miami uniform will get in that. They may even pull Shelton out of the stands and put him in the game at some point.
T2, I thought you were going to say, I think we're dropping this game. I was about to say,
yeah, I did too for a second. I was like, what? No, come on, man. Come on. We can't do that.
Look, I know we lost to Middle Tennessee and FIU, but
if we drop this game, I'm getting arrested because I'm going down there to drop Mario on his head.
Look. I know we lost to Middle Tennessee and FIU, but we're not Florida and Florida State. We ain't ever lost to no FCS team, so
no, we haven't.
Okay, so I don't think we have a whole lot to say about this one. I'm pretty sure we're all going to give this one a W, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, so how about what do we got next? Ball State, isn't that right?
Ball State replaces Notre Dame on our schedule this year. We would have had Notre Dame, but when they when they added those teams to the conference, they dropped Notre Dame from us this year.
Yeah, we're gonna drag our balls across their head. This is a win.
Yeah, Ball State's not a good team.
I think we beat them in the same way we beat Miami of Ohio.
I think instead of this one being like, I think instead of this one being like 70-6, this one will be like 56-10 or something, like 56-6.
Well, I mean, T2I is actually spot on. Like, Ball State is probably right on about the exact same level as the Miami of Ohio.
Well, Miami, Ohio, it was 38-3, but we're way better than last year. Also, Brendan, you were saying it's funny how FAMU stole our colors. Bethune-Cookman, who's their rival, stole FSU's colors. So it's just funny how that worked out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all giving this a W too, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next up, here we go. South Florida.
Lost. No, I'm joking. It's a win.
Yeah, that's a win, and unlike Alabama, it's not going to be close.
I think they'll put up some points because they got a good offense, and by points I mean like 21. Like I think this will be like a 48-21 type game, 42-21.
I think you're underestimating the defense this year.
I think it's just because they'll give us a little bit. I'm not saying like it'll be like 17-14 going into the half, but I think it'll be like, they score a late touchdown in the fourth quarter or two to make it a little more respectable on the backups. That's what I'm mostly saying.
I got you.
Yeah, we'll be in control of this
48.
I like T2I's prediction a whole lot. Like I think this defense is. Everybody's focusing on the offense. I think the defense is being slept on.
I'd say 48-21, 48-17 feels right to me. I'd be happy with that.
I don't think they got the weapons to score 14 or even 2 touchdowns on us.
Well, all right. Well, we'll wrap this up with a W as well. So, who we got next?
Here we go. Yeah, this one, I think this is a loss.
I don't.
And it's not because I'm super high on Virginia Tech. It's just I have a bad feeling about this game. Friday night, Mario and this team always seems to lose one game that they shouldn't every year, or some years multiple games that they shouldn't every year. And until I see something different, I'm going to stick with that pattern. So I have this as the first loss of the year.
I'm going to take it as a win. I'm going to get away from the PS, the post-traumatic stress. I think we have it together this year. I think the team came together. I don't see us dropping this game.
I don't either. I think we win this one as well.
Yeah, if this was in Blacksburg, I would agree with you. And because I'm a degenerate gambler, you happen to see a lot of trends in gambling. And there's a high likelihood that Virginia Tech is going to be ranked. So ranked teams on the road on a Thursday or Friday night, They just take L's. They
Yeah, this
just
is
do.
a Friday game too. It is.
Yes, they take L's.
That's just what scares me. I just have PTSD with those Friday night games. We always seem to do bad in them. Hopefully, look, I'm not saying, and I see Bean laughing at me in the chat, and I see people being like, "No way, we're losing this game." I don't want us to lose this game. I want us to go 12-0. That would be ridiculous.
Well, I mean, listen, Virginia Tech is not a pushover. That is a team that was one game behind us last year that is returning every but one starter.
Mm-hmm. They got a good quarterback, a good defense. I really like what's his name? Brent Pry? Is that the coach's name?
Yeah.
I like what he's doing over there. Virginia Tech's looking good. And again, I hope we beat them. I'm not hoping for a loss, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the W on this one too. I imagine that.
Yeah.
All right.
I really hope after when we're doing the post game show after this, y'all are clowning me saying I told you so. I really want that. I want to be told I told you so. I don't want to be the one saying it.
Well, yeah, I hope so as well. Are you going to this game? You got your season tickets again?
This is the first year I don't have season tickets because I'm moving. And you know what? It would be really damn fitting if it's the first year I don't have season tickets and they win 10 fucking games.
So we're not going to get to hear your rants leaving the stadium?
You're not going to get to hear me die on the way out. You're not going to hear the sirens, the shootings.
There's always gunshots going off and stuff. I don't know.
You're not going to hear the beautiful landscape that is Miami Gardens.
Unfortunately for me, I will be at every home game wearing Florida State gear.
Yes, you will. God, I can't believe you made that bet.
Oh no!
No
you have
way.
To wear, oh no! You have to wear
now
Florida
I wish I had
State gear.
You know what? Yo, T2Y, where do you normally sit?
Well, I don't normally sit anywhere. I upgrade my seats, if you know what I mean.
Oh. All right, well,
you know how you look down at the stadium and you see all, look at those empty spots over there.
I saw you at the Virginia Tech game like 2 years ago. I was like, oh, that's T2Y.
Oh man.
Like I saw you on TV. And let me know where you're gonna be for that Florida State game because I want to clown you in person about that. That is a stupid fucking bet.
I got the same bet for the Gator fans.
Oh man, that would be horrible. All right, so now we got the weird one. We're going to be playing in Cal.
I've seen a lot of people count this as a loss. I don't see it. Cal's awful. Like, okay,
yeah, Cal's a terrible football team. Yeah, and listen, I don't think the travel is going to be as big a deal because I think they're going to normally they travel on a Thursday for an away game. They may travel on even Tuesday, but they'll probably definitely travel on Wednesday.
Yeah, and it's not like they're taking a covered wagon or something. I mean, they're
gonna charter a flight out there. No, they're not riding a bus.
People are acting like they're going to Syria or something, or Gaza. Like, dude, this is just it's Berkeley. Like, oh my God, it's a 3-hour difference. Take a nap. Like, come on.
It's not like we're going up to Utah where it's a whole different altitude.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, did y'all see we're opening the 27 season with Utah in Vegas?
Yep.
Oh my God! If we lose that game, the trolling is going to be awful.
Dude, no. Some of the luster's already been taken off that game because I saw an interview with Kyle Whittingham, and they were asking him about it right after they announced it, and he's like, "Yeah, well, unfortunately, I probably won't be on the sidelines for that game."
Oh. Well, that's
so his coach in waiting is the defensive coordinator out there.
He's sort of been Mario's kryptonite in his last years at the Pac-12. So,
listen, Kyle Whittingham is a great coach. I mean, he's never gotten elite level talent, but he gets 150% out of everything he gets.
I'll say this from a fan standpoint: last season we knocked out Miami of Ohio. So they no longer get to call themselves the real Miami. And then we'll knock off the Utes, and then we'll own the U. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we win. I think we win this one. And
904 Hurricanes is true. Just stop Cal's running back, and we have one of the deepest defensive lines in the country. So I think we'll do okay at that.
Yeah. So I think we're fine. So now we got this fun one here. What say y'all?
Loss.
I got it as a win.
I'm counting this as our first loss. It's a classic trap game. It's the second in back-to-back road games, and it's a week before Florida State.
And also, what's his name? The coach at Louisville. I'm blanking on it. I know his name.
Brom.
Jeff Brom. Jeff Brom's a damn good coach, and you saw what he did to our defense, which our defense was really good last year. And he had a garbage quarterback back there, and you saw what he was able to do. He couldn't do it against FSU in the ACC championship, but he's a good coach.
FSU was the only team to hold them under 30 all year.
I think we'll be a lot more prepared for this game than we're getting credit for, because we do have a staff member that came from over there, so he's very familiar with what they do, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, but I mean, us against their defense is not a problem. I mean, Tyler Van Dyke.
Listen, I already know where T2Y is going with this. T2Y is going to have us going 12-0.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh my god,
definitely.
Dude. All right,
I only got Florida State as a question mark. That's it.
Really? Wow, that's
insane. The only question mark on the schedule.
This is where the bad rep comes from with Miami fans. Shit like this.
T2I loves to troll, man. He does.
T2I, I love you. I love you. I love your content. It's nothing but respect. But goddamn, man, you crazy if you think we going 12-0.
I got Louisville and Florida State as potential losses, but I see that we could beat both of them unless proven otherwise.
And I get that. And listen, we should beat Louisville. We're a more talented football team. I think we're a better coached football team. But like I said, like I explained, this is just a very classic trap game.
It's a classic trap game against it, and it's not like we're playing Duke from 2019 where they went like 3-9. You get me? It's a good team. Like, this is a good team. They were in the ACC championship last year, and they've gotten better.
And listen, like he said a few minutes ago, I'm gonna come on your show, T2I, and I absolutely hope you'll be able to rub it in and say I told you so.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on Duke. If Mario lose that game, oh my fucking god.
Listen, we're coming to that. We'll come to that. I'm gonna leave that for that. What do you think of this Louisville game, Brennan?
Man, to me it's like a coin toss, I think I have trouble believing that we're going to go 12-0. I would, as much as I would love to, in reality I have trouble, so I'm trying to look for who would be the most likely loss, and I think this is probably it.
Now, 904 brings up a good point. We do have a bye week before going to Louisville. So there's a bye week in between Cal and Louisville.
And we always do really well after a bye week.
Louisville.
No, this ain't Manny Diaz no more. This ain't Manny Diaz no more.
Wait a minute now. I put that on Manny. And that's when all Tyler's problems started, was after the bye week last year.
So for the Louisville game, they already put out the spread. So we're an underdog, 1.5. And
wow.
ESPN's matchup predictor got us losing that game too.
Yo, if you go through ESPN's matchup predictor is always stupid as hell. But if you look at that thing, they have us, like, if you were to look at all the games and if they actually happen how they say they will, they have us going 8-4 with losses to Cal, Louisville, FSU, and then Florida.
Well, we covered at the beginning of the show how much of a clown show ESPN has come. So take that with a grain of salt and a shot of penicillin.
They have Florida like at a 61% chance of winning or something ridiculous. Florida.
Yeah, 57.
Yeah,
57.
So I'm gonna go on ahead and say we lose this one.
All right. So I'm at. Let me see. 1, 2, 3.
We'd be 6-1.
I'm at 5-2.
I'm still undefeated.
Well, I like the way you think, T2Y. I like it, man. I mean, I'm right there with you. All right, so next up, your favorite team that you will be sporting their gear all season. This will be T2Y in the stands.
Shout out to all of their fans. Shout out to all their fans to send me that gear, because if not, I would not be doing it.
Are they going to bring that white boy on that show pony out on our field, or what are they doing with that?
No, that he doesn't travel out of Tallahassee except for special occasions.
Good. They might fucking throw beer cans on him and shit. I would.
I wonder if they're gonna try to do something like that in Ireland. Like,
that's a good question. I don't now what they usually do on the road games is obviously he goes, but the horse doesn't. So he just toodles his little happy ass out to midfield and throws his toothpick into the ground.
Or maybe they'll use that mascot they use for the basketball game, the little horse.
Yeah, you could probably put a mini horse on an airplane. You could do that. It'd be the cutest fucking thing you ever saw.
What, like little Sebastian?
Oh man.
Okay, so what do y'all think about this game?
Win. I'm not going to say it's
Close
a blowout.
win.
It's a win. It's a win. They've gotten worse at quarterback, worse at wide receiver. Offensive line is still good, but they're distracted with everything going on around them. It's on the road.
Well, listen, I don't care what they have going on. I don't care what they've lost or brought back. I mean, I've seen a 6-6 Miami team take Jameis Winston down to the wire. So this is going to be a close game, but I got Miami pulling it out.
I think this game will come down to the trenches, and it's going to come down to time of possession. And whoever makes the one or two mistakes in this game going to lose it.
Yeah, and if you're going by that logic, which I completely agree with, it's pretty much guaranteed that DJ is going to make more mistakes than Cam Ward. It just is.
Yeah, DJ, look, FSU fans, I know you guys aren't the brightest bunch. That's why you go to FSU, but I need you to understand that DJU is not a good quarterback. I need you to understand. No matter how much you want to hype him up, I mean, he wasn't even your first choice. He was your backup. You settled for DJ.
It's kind of hard to hype up a guy when you're hearing stuff out of practice like 13 straight incompletions.
They're still doing it.
And then you're watching their backup quarterback can't even complete a screen pass.
Yeah, we saw what their backups did last year. Don't worry. We all saw that.
See, people forget that Mike Norvell has had some stinkers at quarterback since he's been at Florida State. And I mean, let's be honest about it for a minute. You saw the year-over-year progression with Jordan Travis and that team. And I think with the way Mike Norvell is not doing the best in high school recruiting and really relying on the transfer portal, I think it's every 3 years is when you have to look out for Florida State to make a run.
Yeah. I mean, because he's not – look, he's not Deion level where Deion has just completely ignored high school recruiting. He's like, hey, what's that? Except for like maybe one 5-star who's stupid enough to buy into
listen, Mike Norvell is a football coach. Deion Sanders is a team mom with a whistle.
Yeah.
Hey, T2Y, Anthony has a question for you here. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but he wants to know if when you made that bet, were you sober or how drunk were you when you made that bet?
I had dollar signs in my eyes.
Like, I mean, look, Mike. This is all I have to say about Mike Norvell's recruiting. I think he finished off with a worse class last year than Billy Napier, and Billy Napier lost half the damn class on signing day. That's all I need to say about Mike Norvell's recruiting of high school.
Yeah, not to mention Billy Napier this year is dependent on a good year to get some recruits.
Yeah.
Yeah, aren't they like 38th?
I think he needs to be more worried about who's going to recruit him.
Oh, speaking of commitment, I think Bryce Fitzgerald was supposed to have made his decision at 9:00. Damn, I forgot about it. Should be a hurricane.
Should be.
That's where everything was standing.
Well, and listen, there's a couple of guys out there that are like LSU's just keeping DJ Pickett warm for us until signing day.
Did he commit?
It was supposed to be today at 9:00. So
I don't know. I'm trying to look it up too right now. I don't see it. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. See, I think we get the win. What did you go with?
I don't
Slim?
think he's announced yet. I haven't seen anything. No one's put out any. I don't think he's announced, even though he was supposed to at 9.
posted online earlier that he was making his decision tonight at 9:00.
Yeah, I saw it was going to be a 9, and I know we're 40 minutes past that, but none of the reporters have put out anything where it's like either yes or no. Like Gabby would have put out whether he committed to, like, just for example, FSU or something. Yeah, Workforce says it there. He hasn't announced it. All right, if we could just ask chat to do us a favor and let us know when he announces, that'd be great. Thank you.
Almighty Finn, I think I need you to go review some film, and you would see what a ridiculous statement that is. Cam Ward doesn't turn over the ball at a high clip. He had 7 interceptions. He had fumbles, but go look at why those fumbles happened. He had a bad offensive line at Missouri at Washington State. He's going to have a top 5 offensive line in the nation at Miami.
Also, what man? The man got left out of the college football playoff because no one likes you. You've had 2 good years with a bunch of hired guns from the transfer portal. You're a sad, sad school, and people use you up. Keon Coleman doesn't even claim you. Also, Keon Coleman's trash. Shut up about being.
Oh, you mean sometimes Coleman? Because sometimes he's going to show up.
Yeah, Keon Coleman got shut down by a fucking freshman last year.
Well, he had several games like that. Boston College, he had no numbers. Clemson, he had no numbers. Miami, he had no numbers. The list goes on.
Keon Coleman is like Justin Fields. Okay, he'll have a few highlights that get posted on ESPN, and everyone hypes him up when really he's just a jump ball merchant. That's it.
I actually don't agree with that. I think that's more of a Bears problem than it is a Fields problem.
No, but I mean how Justin Fields was like, people would hype him up like, oh my God, he's so great because he would make a few highlight plays, but he really wasn't that great when he was playing there.
Yeah, but the Bears are also garbage. But
Yeah,
we'll get into that another day. Yes, I have us beating Florida State in a close game. I mean,
it's always.
I think it's gonna be a 1-score game.
Yeah, Raph, notice how he did that with a punt return. He never did anything actually in the passing game. Anyways,
right. So who y'all taking on this one? Slim says
Miami.
Miami. I say Miami. T2Y. I know you're going with Miami. T2Y.
Yeah. So it's unanimous. We've all got Miami.
Right.
There's no L's in 12-0.
All right. I got you. So next up, we've got these goofy blue people.
The Cuban Bowl.
Yes, this is at least while these 2 coaches are here, this is going to be renamed the Cuban Bowl, and the winner of this game, the winner of this game, gets a cup of Cuban coffee and a Cuban cigar.
We should up the stakes. You know how some teams they'll trade a trophy off every year when they play. We should just trade head coaches. So after whoever wins this game. Actually, that wouldn't work. Never mind. That wouldn't work. Never mind. That was a stupid joke. Yeah, Manny is fake Cuban. How do you grow up in Miami as a Cuban, son of Cuban immigrants, and you don't speak Spanish?
He doesn't speak Spanish?
Mario,
no.
Manny Diaz does not speak Spanish. I never trust a Cuban that doesn't speak Spanish.
Hey, Mario, if you lose this game, please get on the plane with Manny.
Yeah.
I think we pull this one off. We win this.
Yeah, they lost their quarterback. Their best defensive talent either went to the league or went with Elko to Texas A&M. And listen, I think Manny, at the very least, shut some people up. Manny is still an elite defensive coordinator. He proved that at Penn State.
Holy crap.
That's because he wasn't in charge of recruiting his own players, because we saw what happens when he recruits his own players. They're dog shit. He's good with other people's talent.
Not necessarily.
Who was an actual good linebacker that he brought in through high school recruiting that developed into anything?
Well, okay. Well, hang on. In Manny's tenure, name me a linebacker he brought in that didn't blow a knee out. They all did. That's why Wesley Basaint is still here.
I want you to think about this, though, Slim. Manny Diaz is responsible for Corey Flagg.
He is. Hey, Corey Flagg got the game-winning tackle against Clemson. So
I don't want to.
Sun shines on a rabid dog's ass every once in a while, I guess.
I don't want to hear anyone say anything good about Manny Diaz again when that asshole gave up the most rushing yards in a game in Miami history with North Carolina and the most passing yards in a game against Pitt in 2021 when Kenny Small Hands Pickett threw for 500 yards on us. Yeah, we won the game, but that's because of devil magic and Brett Ashley.
Don't even get me started with not scoring a single fucking point against LA Tech.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was horrible.
Losing to FIU, losing to Louisiana Tech.
Dude, I don't know what his infatuation. I don't like. Did Jaron Williams have some dirt on Manny or something?
He was probably smoking weed with him.
I mean, I think dude had some blackmail on him or something. Because I remember me and T2I talking about it. One of the silver linings to Dan Enos is he tried to sit him in that FIU game when he came in after curfew drunk, and Manny let him play anyway.
Yeah. Workforce says it here. The fourth and long against North Carolina in his first year. 4th and long against FSU. Like, oh my God.
Shoot,
whatever. This is a win. We blow them out.
This is a win too. This is a win.
Blowout.
Blowing the game against Florida.
Yeah, blowing the game against Florida. We were up not only at the half, but going into the fourth quarter against Florida. We lost.
Yeah,
to Felipe
I'm taking a win. I'm taking a win on this one.
No, Anthony. Grayson McCall is at NC State, not Duke. Manny got Malik Murphy from Texas.
A backup.
I think the rest of the way is just a home run for us. Georgia Tech.
All right. Well. So next up, we got these guys.
C-Dog.
Man, we should have beat last year.
Here's a funny story about C-Dog. So the year before, when we beat them like 35 to something, 7 or something, I bet him $100. So the next season comes around, which was last year where we got cheated. I was like, "You want to bet another $100?" He's like, "Nah, I'm good." They won.
hey, but C-Dog got 50 off of me.
Hey, I gotta say, the first time I ever discovered C-Dog was last year, and it was the video he posted where he's there during the Bowling Green game, and he's just sitting.
Oh God, dude! What's even better is the second one when he leaves in the fourth quarter and he's sitting on the bench on the side of the street right outside the stadium. Oh, I mean, I'm like, dude, do I need to call the suicide hotline or something? Jesus.
I thought he was going to.
C-Dog is hilarious. I love C-Dog. I love Rec too, but both those guys. But C-Dog's absolutely hilarious, man.
I think Georgia Tech would tell me
off the top of the stadium.
I think Georgia Tech will tell me everything I need to know once I watch them play FSU.
Well, yeah. I mean, my 2 cents on Georgia Tech is I think their offense is going to be better, and I think that's why they might beat Florida State week 1. I think they'll at least keep that game close.
If they beat them, we need to do a post-game show just for that.
Well, here's going to be the problem with Georgia Tech, and I've talked to C-Dog and Rec about this. Their defense might be worse this year.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for Tyler Van Dyke giving them 3 interceptions, because we put up yards on them. We put up like 450 yards on them. We were moving the ball.
Yeah, and they had a bunch of guys transfer out. They got some transfer ins. They went through 2 DCs last year. Well, they've got another one in the offseason, so they're on their 3rd defensive coordinator in Brent's 2nd season. that doesn't bode well. So I mean, really, this game, even if Georgia Tech has a very good offense, fine. Which defense would you be willing to put money down gets a couple of stops?
Yeah.
Of course.
Also,
Miami.
Hoghead, we got cheated. Yes, Mario is a fucking moron for not taking the knee, but also
Hey,
Don
listen,
Chain was clearly down.
Don't listen to
I'm gonna say
Hoghead. He's a Tennessee fan. Don't even get me started on that fucking dumpster fire.
I never should have addressed him. I'm sorry. You're right. I didn't know. If I had known, I wouldn't have even addressed the comment. That's like addressing a FSU fan seriously or a Florida fan seriously. Like
the real UT is in Austin, Texas, by the way.
Yeah, did you see that petty ass shit that the SEC did? Where in the official like synonym listing, like not synonym, but like abbreviation listings, they have like Texas as like U Texas, and then Tennessee as UT.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like when you say UT, you think of Texas. You don't think of Tennessee.
I can't wait to watch Texas get the horns down in the SEC now. And then we'll try to whine about that because that no mercy SEC, man. It's just it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but listen, I think it's gonna be funny. But you saw what happened when Georgia did that. Fucking Bebo almost turned Uga into a shish kebab.
That's Mia's favorite video. She loves that video.
That bull was trying to eat that little dog.
Right. You talk about somebody whose expectations is dropping as days in camp go by. They've already lost 2 running backs for the season.
Yeah, that sucks.
So I think we get this win.
Yeah.
We don't mess up. We're going to get revenge, I think. We're not going to mess up like we did last year.
45-21. It's not going to be close.
I could see them. This is one where I could see their offense putting up some points. I could see them getting into the 20s, yeah. But their defense that can't stop them running nose.
I think we're just going to smack them clean.
We should get Sea-Dog. We should get Sea-Dog on the stream after this game, especially if we beat them.
I think we beat them something like 48-7.
Oh wow,
70-12.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. And listen, I think some people are sleeping on our defense. I do.
Yeah, I think our D is going to be a lot better.
Week one will tell me everything I need to know about our defense.
Mm-hmm.
I've already been telling people that we got a top 5 defense, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well, moving along here, we have Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons.
We're done with them. They're going to be like angels.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like Dave Clawson. I put Dave Clawson in the same breath as like a Kyle Whittingham. I mean, he takes these guys nobody else wants, and he gets something out of them.
Bryce Fitzgerald committed. He's a Hurricane.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
We got him.
Drop now. Yep.
Yeah, okay. He caused a little drama early. He posted a picture with the Florida Gators stuff on.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's the same trolling as that's the same trolling like Jeremiah Smith did last year.
I'm like, yeah, and then the Florida State.
You know what? Listen, though, I believe Jeremiah when he says he really didn't make his decision until he got on that stage.
Oh no, I don't mean like that. Because Jeremiah, I remember like a week before his commitment, he posted something with like a Miami Hurricanes balloon behind him on Twitter, and it was just that picture. And then there was another DJ Pickett did something too, where like the day before he committed, he posted something with the Miami Hurricanes, and everyone was like, yeah, we've seen this before. We know how this will go. He's not coming here.
Listen, listen. I've already heard. I've got a source or two running around out there. I've heard that DJ Pickett's just being kept warm by LSU for the time being.
Hey, don't tell me you got official now, Slim. You got sources and shit now.
I got me a source or two.
Hey, Big Barney Ross, appreciate you, brother. Much appreciated on the $5 super chat there. He says, when you tell your girl to shave her baby maker and you wake up bald, Mark Stoops. Appreciate you, Big Barney Ross.
Oh, you know what? If you're a person out there on the internet with a problem with Big Barney Ross, you're the problem.
Exactly. I love Big Barney Ross. He's hilarious, man. So, do you give Wake Forest any chance in this game?
No, I really don't.
It's a win. Their roster's not good, and it doesn't speak on Dave Clawson. I mean, what is he supposed to do at Wake Forest, man? So yeah, that's a win.
All right. Well, now we've
last
got
game of the year,
the Big Orange.
I really like the coach they hired. I'm blanking on his name right now. I think he'll do good things in the future, but not this year. This will be a win.
Okay. I've got Miami doing Miami things. I've got these players getting a big head, being highly ranked at the end of the year, and dropping a game to a bad Syracuse team. That's good. That I say bad Syracuse team. The record's not going to indicate that because their record is a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. I don't fucking know. We is not going out like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I have us 10-2. Slim does, but a lot bleaker 10-2. Jesus, I would not be feeling good about 10-2 if we lost the last game of the year. I at least have us ending on a 5-game win streak.
Listen, I still have us going to the ACC championship, obviously, at 10-2.
I have us in the ACC championship against Louisville, actually.
If we win this game and we lose Louisville, we ain't going to no goddamn ACC championship.
Yeah, we will.
No.
I have Florida State 9-3 with 2 losses. Clemson 9-3.
Florida State and Clemson.
No, it's going to be us and Clemson more than likely.
I think it's us in Louisville. I think Clemson. Let me see their schedule. I forgot who I had them losing to.
See, I think Louisville as well, and that's why I would much rather. It's hard to beat a team twice. I would rather lose to them, in mid-season, and then come back and win. Like either way, I think whoever wins the one, the other team will win the other. I think it's going to be a good match.
That being said, fools, I have seen Miami beat a team twice, and I'll never let them forget this because the year before we joined the ACC, our last year in the Big East, we beat Florida State during the regular season, and then we matched up with Florida State in the Orange Bowl, and they took a double L.
Yeah, I mean it does happen, but you know what I'm getting at. It's very hard to do.
Isn't that the game Vince Wilfork killed somebody? I think that's the game.
I got a fun fact for you. Miami is the only team to beat both of their rivals in a bowl game in the same calendar year.
Yep. Because we played Florida the very next year in the Peach Bowl, I think it was, and beat them.
In late December.
Right on the 31st.
Yeah.
Because that was the one where Florida tried to tie it up. This was early in the game. Florida tried to tie it up, and Devin Hester picked up his own block kick and ran it back.
God, remember when we had players like Devin Hester?
Oh,
I can't because I was a year old, but you can.
Dude, I'm looking for Callan Winslow.
Brennan,
from the,
what you got?
Brennan, what do you think of this game? Because I have 10-2.
We win. We end up 11-1.
All right, so 11-1, 2 10-2s, and then T2Y with 12. The lofty 12-0. That is the official predictions of everyone on the panel.
Yeah, and I hope T2Y is correct.
Yeah, no, I do too. I want T2Y after the last game of the season. If we're 12-0, I want you to come on here dancing, shirtless, just telling us y'all were wrong, 12-0, motherfucker.
That would be a punishment.
I want to see that as well.
That would be a punishment for the fans. They don't want to see me dance with my shirt off.
If we go 12-0, they'll take it. If it means
they'll take anything.
If it means us going 12-0, they will do whatever. Knowing these people.
That's one of those $20 is $20 kind of things right there,
Hey, right? Hell, I don't even need it. I'll still take $20. Hey, it's $20 I didn't have.
Shoot, and this is way out of the ballpark. But if we win the national championship this year,
Oh my god,
I'm gonna take a trip up to Tallahassee and steal Renegade.
man!
Ride them all the way back. Ride them all the way back to the 305.
I want to go up to.
Now, I did get a threat from a Florida fan this offseason that if Florida wins that game, that they're going to come down to Miami and steal that war canoe.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, schedule us yearly, asshole. Put us back on the schedule. Then maybe we'll talk.
Now, see, one thing I really like about our schedule this year is we don't have North Carolina.
Yeah.
Because they've always been this thorn in our side. It's so annoying.
I actually don't like that this year because I think going through their roster, going through their schedule, I think North Carolina is in for a terrible year. And I think this is going to be Mac Brown's retirement tour.
Brendan, you want to know something funny? Today I was playing my Dynasty on the new college football game, and I'm into like year 5. I won 2 national championships with Miami, all this stuff. We're number 1 in the country. Who the fuck did we lose to at home but North Carolina? Even in the game.
They really have, man. They've just been that thorn in our side literally since we joined the conference.
My quarterback had thrown only 1 pick on the year. He threw 5 interceptions that game.
Dude,
in my Dynasty game.
Because that second season, you don't have Cam Ward, you don't have Damian, you don't have a couple of those players. The whole offense is totally different.
Yeah.
Well, Damian doesn't Damian have 1 more year after this? Like he could.
Well, he can, but let's be honest, he's a running back. He's not.
In my Dynasty, he won the Heisman, so he wasn't coming back.
He won the Heisman when we. You know what actually was funny? What happened in this newest one I did? I couldn't get a quarterback in the portal, so I had to stick with what I had. And Judd Anderson ended up being my highest rated quarterback. I have him as a redshirt senior. He's won 2 natties. He's thrown for 15,000 yards. He ended up being a stud, actually. Judd Anderson.
Yeah, my second season, Poffenberger is my quarterback. Oh my god, I hate it.
I was able to get Nate Johnson in the portal and Jeremiah Smith and Eugene Wilson from Florida.
You want to hear who's my running back that I got out the portal?
Who?
Baxter.
Nah, how the hell?
He got in the portal from Texas.
I was trying to get Caleb Downs the first year, but last minute Alabama beat me out, and I was like, "Bro, you're going back to Bama?" Come on, man.
Now I know everybody's pointing, and myself included, to how good the offense is going to be this year. Now, to put that in just a little bit of context, if just say for the sake of argument, Cam Ward puts up the numbers he put up last year at Washington State, that would put him in the top 5 quarterbacks all time at Miami.
Well, I hope you're right, Slim. But anyways, man, I got to run, guys.
And honestly, with T2Y, all right. Yeah. Later, man. Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it.
Yeah, T2Y, appreciate you coming on here, man. I'm gonna drop your link in here in the chat just in case nobody. Yeah. If you're not subbed up to T2Y, you definitely.
What are you doing with your life if you're not?
So let me drop that one in here.
If you're not following T2Y on Twitter, then what are you really doing with your life? Because that's probably one of the
Yeah, T2Y. Tell everybody what you do. Put out your @ on Twitter or whatever. Tell everybody out there listening so they can make sure to sub you up.
At T2Y Hurricane on Twitter and Big 3 T2Y on YouTube. But Twitter is my domain. That's where all the training material goes.
Yeah, feel free to hop on any post-game shows during the season if you want to. We'll send you the link.
Yeah, definitely. You're always welcome to come back on me. We really appreciate having you. I just dropped your link there for your YouTube in both my channel and on the Miami channel there, the Voice of College Football Miami channel. So it just went out on both of them. So everybody sub up T2Y. Man, we appreciate having you on, buddy.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
All right. See you, man.
Take it easy, man.
So what else, guys? You got any other stuff you want to wrap up with or anything like that?
I had one more point about next year, where T2Y was saying next year, this offense is going to be completely different. But I mean, in the age we live in now with the transfer portal, who says we don't get another elite quarterback in the portal next year. Like it's so hard to predict what rosters are going to look like with how everything changes year to year.
And if there's any criticism to bring up of Mario's recruiting, it really has been at quarterback so far. I know he's got his guy coming in 25 class, and Luke Nichols a 4-star. Showed out at Elite 11 and everywhere else. But that's one thing where I could say, at least so far, out of 3 recruiting cycles, Luke Nichols being it, that leaves you wanting a little more, no doubt.
I mean, outside of really Justin Herbert, which also Justin Herbert wasn't his recruit, what has he really done recruiting the quarterback position? Even then, Justin Herbert was a 3-star who developed into something greater than that.
That's a good question.
Because he had that one guy from Boston College when they beat Ohio State and went 10-2, which he was awful. That is just another testament to how good of a coach Mario is. He beat Ohio State, went 10-2, and went to the Pac-12 championship with that guy as his QB. He hasn't really had anything else.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. But here's the thing with that, though. I mean, I think Shannon makes up for it. Because obviously, right after Shannon came in, he got a hold of Luke Nichols, and nobody debates his ability to develop quarterbacks. I mean, at West Virginia, Will Grier almost won the Heisman under Shannon.
Oh, this is some sort of unrelated news. Stream East, the popular site that so many of us use when we don't feel like paying for watching sports, has just been seized by the Department of Homeland Security. So time to find a new website, guys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to reactivate my TV. We turn Hulu Live on the night before football starts, and the day after the national championship, I turn it off because there's nothing else on TV, So I'm like,
I just stream. I just watch streaming for everything. Like I just go back and watch like Band of Brothers and shit like that. Like I'm not watching anything on cable now.
Right, there's nothing on. Why pay for it? I mean, I sit here and watch YouTube documentaries on history and stuff like that. Like this is a
no, dude. Yesterday, I was in bed with Mia and we watched an hour-long YouTube video about Dale Earnhardt. None of us care about NASCAR. I don't know anything about NASCAR. But I was like, damn, this is cool.
Is this some NASCAR and chill type of stuff? Or is
I mean, I've still got my DirecTV. I kept my DirecTV, but I've also got, 3 small kids at the house too.
Yeah, we just don't watch
TV. You gotta watch like Bluey and Cocomelon and shit.
Oh God! Thank you for reminding me.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. Anybody got anything else to add to this, or?
For the people in the comments section, don't forget, we're looking for every week this season. We will continuously be looking for our next winner of the Debbie Downer Award.
And that is a pretty prestigious award.
And this year, we're actually going to keep count like a professional live stream team and award the first ever Debbie Downer of the year. So be on the lookout for that.
Be on the lookout for it. Yeah, maybe we'll get like a little trophy or something we can send out to somebody whoever wins that one, or a T-shirt.
See, here's the problem though. Even if by our predictions the worst record is right, I'm not sure how many applicants we're going to have.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. If we lose to Florida week 1, nothing what I says counts. We're going like fucking 7-5 or 8-4 or something. That's my caveat. If we lose
I don't necessarily believe that. And also, I don't think the teams, especially the team, doesn't need to have that mentality because at the end of the day, that game does. Well, I get it. But especially the team doesn't need to look at it that way because all of their goals for the year are still attainable even if they lose that game.
Right.
No, yeah. I mean, that game, honestly speaking, is a lot more important to the fans than it is to the players. And by important, I mean like meaningful because of, just because of Twitter and being able to like talk shit and stuff like that. Now it's important for recruiting and stuff like that in the moment, but when Billy Napier gets fired, that class is gonna fucking blow up. But yeah, I think the floor of this team, when you look at it, and I'm going off workforce, and I agree, is like 9-3. Maybe if everything goes like if a lot of things go wrong, like 8-4.
I'm going to stand on it. Minus catastrophic things happening, the floor of this team should be 10 wins with that schedule. It really should. Listen, and that is absolutely part of the reason I believe that is because of the schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our schedule isn't that rough.
No, we definitely got a favorable draw this year. Now next year, I think Notre Dame is back. Like, people are talking about Florida's schedule. If what I'm remembering off the top of my head is correct, we may be playing 11 Power 5 teams next year, or Power 4 now.
Let me see our schedule for next year, 2025.
It's hard to get used to that Power 4.
Yeah.
2025, we've got USF at home, Florida at home, Notre Dame at home, at Florida State, Louisville at home, NC State at home, Stanford at home, Syracuse at home. We go to Pitt, SMU, and Virginia Tech. That is a much harder schedule next year.
That's gonna be a lot.
It is. It is.
Yeah, this is the year we need to do something and take advantage of what what's been laid out in front of us.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, it doesn't get any better going forward. We got home and homes with South Carolina, home and homes with Auburn.
Yeah, we have one more game left to schedule, and that's probably going to be like an FCS team.
Probably.
Put on there.
Probably Middle Tennessee.
Oh, God.
Like, no. Yeah, Dylan Mullins. What was the name of that? What was the name of that recruit that just committed?
Bryce Fitzgerald out of Columbus.
Yeah, so yes, Dylan, he did commit to the U. So
and don't forget, we have an advantage though, fools. We have a defensive lineman from Middle Tennessee State.
Oh, okay. Well, that was so sad when they were throwing that ball all over on us. It was like, oh my God.
Dude, it's even worse because I was there and on the sideline where that motherfucker ran right by me on the 99-yard touchdown. And me and my friend, like, we're looking at the play. He caught it, and it was just this the whole way.
Listen, if you're a fan of your team, you've gone through that at some point.
Oh yeah,
it's just unless you're fresh out of diapers.
Look, this is how you know I'm a real fan too, because at least you guys got to see some good shit. The best I got to see was a colorful little chain and us beating Notre Dame 7 years ago. 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
I jumped on when Stephen Morris and Philip Dorsett and Denzel Perriman had this team at number 7 going into FSU, and I thought it's a good time to be a Hurricanes fan. Oh, was I wrong?
It's been rough. It's been, hey, Mr. Duggar, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, it's been a rough go for the past 20 years. Definitely. It's definitely time for us to do something. So
yeah, I mean,
it seems like the trees are thinning.
I've seen North Carolina 2020, FIU 2019, FIU 2019, Louisiana Tech, Middle Tennessee, losing and then just a bunch of other games where it's like you got down like 20 points, come back, take a lead, but still blow it in the end. Like, how many games like that have we had? I mean, yeah. The one that comes to mind is Virginia Tech in like 2019, where they were up like 28-0. We took the lead. Bubba Baxa misses a fucking extra point, and then we end up still losing that game because that just took all the momentum out of it.
The cheese bowl. Exactly.
He sat Jaron Williams and put Perry in. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, when was the last time we won a bowl game?
2016.
We are 1 for 11. Brendan, you want to hear something? We're 1-11 in bowl games since 2006.
Yeah. No, bite into this. The last 2 coaches to win bowl games at Miami were Mark Richt and Randy Shannon.
Oh God, no!
Because they had already fired. They had already fired Coker by then, and Shannon was the interim coach.
Really? Again, I was 3 years old when that happened, so I'll take your word.
That was the NPC Computers Bowl in 2006
against Nevada, right? And we barely beat them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I like it. Dylan Mullins. There you go, 12-0 regular season. I like it.
With Kyle Wright. God, Kyle Wright.
And I'll even give a caveat to that. Both of the losses that I predicted are very winnable games. Very winnable games.
Can we play? I want to play a little game. Cam Ward now is probably going to be a great quarterback from us. Can we try to name all the quarterbacks that we've had since Ken Dorsey?
Oh, good God.
Because it was Brock Berlin.
Kyle Wright, Robert Marr, and Kosi.
Wait, you're missing one. Brock Berlin's backup played in a game in 2003 against Syracuse. I'm forgetting his name. Crudup. Fuck. What was his name? So you had Brock Berlin, Crudup, Brock Berlin again in 2004, Kyle Wright for a few years, Robert Marv,
Ja'Cory Harris,
Stephen Morris, Brad Kaya, Malik Rozier, Nkosi Perry, Malik Rozier again, then Nkosi Perry, then Malik Rozier again, because they kept fucking flip-flopping because Mark Richt could not decide on the quarterback.
And then the same thing in 2019 with Jaron Williams and Nkosi Perry.
Yeah, Tate Martell played a few snaps in that Louisiana Tech game.
Yeah, Tate Martell. That's what I was going to say. Don't forget about Tate.
Oh,
Tate and Kiki Pasto. Tate Martell.
Paint, who, by the way, is retired from football now.
Yeah. Oh, God. It's Tate Martell. Sorry, Tate Martell. Jesus, fuck you, Slim. Tate Martell. Tate Martell, and then I think they put Nkosi Perry back in after Tate played like shit for those 2 drives. Then it was Derek King, and he blew his knee out in the Cheez-It Bowl, and it was Nkosi Perry, and Mark Pope and D. Wiggins couldn't hang on to a football to save their life.
Wasn't it D. Wiggins that straight up the corner walked up to him and just deboed the ball from him and took off?
Yeah. It was so then in 2020 it was Derek King again, but he was playing injured, and then he got injured again against Michigan State. So it was Tyler for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's when Tyler came in.
Then Tyler got injured against Duke. I remember that. He fucking fell on his shoulder. So they put in Jake Garcia. Remember when we thought Jake Garcia was going to be good? Yeah, that was funny. Now he's like the third string.
Jake Garcia's problem was he either wanted the home run ball or nothing at all. That was his problem.
Yeah, you had Jake Garcia, and then he was so bad that they played Ja'Cory Brown, and then Tyler came back a little bit against Pitt, and he got injured again, and they played Jake Curry, and then we had Tyler, Emory, and then Ja'Cory in the bowl game. Yeah, that's a rough 20 years.
And I think a lot of that's got to do, to that point with quarterback play. Now, you want to know the trippy part of that? In that time, Brad Kaya became the leading passer in Miami history. Like, he's got the most passing touchdowns, the most passing yards.
And I saw Brad Kaya the other day on TikTok. I've always held up to this. If Brad Kaya came back his senior year, that Miami team would have gotten undefeated in the regular season. I'm not saying we would have won the national championship. I'm not saying we would have won the national championship or even beating Clemson. That Clemson team, that was still Clemson at the height of its power. And it didn't matter who you put at quarterback there, but they would have at least finished 11-0 because, the Arkansas State game got canceled that year. But, yeah, we wouldn't have lost to Pitt.
Yes, I know. I had tickets to that game.
Yeah, and we would have won by a lot more than we should have because, we barely beat North Carolina that year, and they were awful. We barely beat Duke. We
barely beat everybody. They were the Cardiac Canes except for the Notre Dame game.
Yeah, that was the only big win there.
Because they turned around the very next week. Well, and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was kind of well in hand. But they turned around the very next week and barely beat Virginia.
I remember Virginia was up 14-0. Then we tied it. Then they went up 28-14, and then we ran away with the game. And you know who the quarterback was for Virginia that game? Kurt Benkert. The streamer guy, you always see him on TikTok or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, the only reason DJ Lagway, the only reason DJ Lagway would ever get in that game is if Graham Mertz dies behind that awful O-line you have. That's it, because there's no way he's getting in that game. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I mean, we're looking at exactly 2 weeks. What time is our game? The first is it 3:30, right?
3:30 game, yeah.
3:30. So yeah, everybody out there listening, make sure you do tune in to the Voice of College Football Miami channel right here every I would say after the game. It's always about 30 minutes or something right in there after the game, and we go live right here into a post game.
It might be earlier this year, because remember, you guys would always wait until I got to the car.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we might actually get on. And it all depends too on how frustrated or mad we are. Sometimes we sit in the back room before we go live, getting all our frustrations and cuss words out of the way before we go live. But yeah, hopefully we won't.
Jackson, you're right. Pittsburgh is where dreams go to die. I don't know what it is about that place.
Well, we're not the only ones. I mean, Clemson went to Pittsburgh, I think it was the year before, and lost to them.
No, Pittsburgh actually went into Death Valley and beat them with Nathan Peterman.
Oh, did they? Okay, they went to Death. For some reason, I was thinking that game was at Pitt, but okay.
Yeah, remember how everyone kept talking about Clemson's 40-game home win streak, and that ended in 2023 when South Carolina beat them. Before that, the last game that they had lost was 2016 Pitt at home with the last-second field goal.
Okay.
Yeah,
shows you how much college football has changed, because I mean it took them, 5 years to hit 40. I mean it took us almost 11 to hit 58.
Yeah, and also workforce. Yeah, I will miss being able to scream from my car because I don't have other people there that would care about that. It's nice to get it all out in the car when we lose.
All right, so I'm making sure I'm putting in the chat here on my channel to here's the link, everybody. If you're watching over there on the Traveling Fools side, I'm putting in the link to, if I can figure out how to do it, the link to the Miami channel over here at the Voice of College Football, where the post game shows will be. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. So yeah, if anybody you want to catch post game shows and laugh at us or do whatever you want to do, we always have a good time over there. So if you're not subbed up to that, run over there right now. This stream is live over there as well. So if you could sub that channel up and give the stream a thumbs up over there, that would be awesome as well. So there we go. Just drop that there. Guys, I think we should wrap it up. That would be that would be, I think we've covered about everything. We went through 11. I got us 11-1. Slim, you came up with what? 10-2. Alex, you as well, 10-2, and T2Y went with the 12-0, which I really do like that.
Yeah. Also.
Oh yeah, like Mark said. Yeah.
Yeah. Live show Wednesday night.
Yeah. Wednesday night, Mark Rogers does on the Voice of College Football Miami channel, does a live Miami show over there as well. So if you want to catch that, that would be great too. Get over there and do that. And make sure you do sub up Mark's main channel as well, Voice of College Football. All kinds of cool call-in shows, stuff like that. Great content, a lot of fun, great community, and Mark's the man.
Yeah, Mark's always on there, whether it's with Cam most of the time, or if he can't make it, he has other people on. I've been on there a few times.
Cam's one of my favorite targets to harass. Me and him just have different philosophies on football, but we want the same thing.
It's like politics.
Yeah, exactly. We'll keep it good. We do appreciate everybody tuning in though and checking this out. It's been a lot of fun. I really am looking forward to this season. I think it's either way. I mean, we've had a blast doing this when we've been horrible. We've had our ups and downs, but we always have fun doing this show, and I look forward to it. It's going to be a blast.
Oh yeah, this show is going to be entertaining, win, lose, or draw.
Mm-hmm. Especially lose, because then we get into the denial stuff.
Then I get to I'd spend the entire show poking fun at everybody crying in the comment section.
Yeah, it's sort of a double-edged sword, because if we win, we're happy, but then it's like the beginning of last year, Slim, where we were like, so what do we really talk about? What are we
I'm happy no matter what.
We don't know what to say.
It's like, we won. Okay, great. But when we lose, it's like, goddamn fucking piece of shit can't kneel the goddamn ball. How do you not kneel the ball?
Appreciate you, Gutters. Thanks. You went over there and subbed up on the Miami channel. You'll have fun listening to us. We have a good time once the season gets going. It's hard to do these like kind of prediction things. I mean, it's fun to get out here and do, but until we actually see them go out there and play in 2 weeks, I mean, we're going to know a lot like right then and there from that Florida game, I think. And
absolutely.
It's all on paper. Everything looks good, but we know.
Well, and it's hard to get anything from camp because Mario's one of the strictest on this. Like you can occasionally, like with some other teams, you can get clips out of camp of guys throwing the ball around and maybe even the occasional 7-on-7 out of some camps. I mean, not with Mario. Mario is letting them film drills, and that is it.
Yeah, I mean, they had a scrimmage today, and there was no media allowed, period. Not even just that they couldn't film. They just weren't allowed.
Mm-hmm. And I like that, though. I mean, I like that. As much as I would like to know about it, I do like the fact that people don't know about it. So I think that keeps things better.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Oh, and speaking of, I noticed George put something in about Coach Coop. So I was listening to Coop last night, and he's actually, I guess he has another diss track coming out. And this could be Gator Hater 2.0. I think it's what's going to be hitting this probably next week, I would imagine. So that should be interesting.
You know what though? Here, Jay Shipes makes a really good point. If Miami wins the ACC, do you think that'll convince Uncle Lou that we're finally in the end times?
Maybe so.
That might actually convert him.
Right, the locust. And we'll have all kinds of stuff coming down. Famine, locust. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. There's
a direct correlation between the nuclear holocaust and Miami winning the ACC.
Right, Miami wins the ACC. Kim Jong-un rules the world, and it'll be great. A little selfless plug here for myself. I'm going to drop my link to our Traveling Fools channel right there on the other side of this. It says for a good time sub here. We do a lot. We do have a lot of fun over there at our Traveling Fools channel. So if anybody wants to go over there and sub that up. Yeah, trivia night every Sunday night where we give away cool prizes to topqualityshirts.com. The best place to get all your gear, whether it's for, your significant other, Valentine's Day, anything, you just need some new swag, get over there to topqualityshirts.com. You can pick up cool stuff from Mark Rogers, Pigskin Pete. We've got merchandise on there as well. There's Ben and Sam, a whole lot of people on there. So check that out, topqualityshirts.com. And yeah, Jackson, let's help Traveling Fools get to 7,000 subs. That would be freaking awesome. So love you, Jackson. Always appreciate you. Jackson's the best mod in the whole wide world. But
and for a better time at truck stops all across America is Traveling Fools' phone number.
All right, guys. Well, let's bust out of here. We will be back probably 7:00 or whatever right there after the game in 2 weeks, and hopefully we'll all be smiling really big, talking about how bad we kicked the Gators' ass, as we should.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we got to get out of here. So everybody have a great night, and appreciate everybody who stopped in. Please make sure you've hit the thumbs up and all that jazz, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see all of you later on.
Go Canes.